warrior, Hailey Buzbee, could have been saved. Are you familiar with the Hailey Buzbee story? First of all, this is a 17-year-old, or should I say was a 17-year-old teen from Indiana. And she met 39-year-old creepy perv, I don't even want to use his name, online, perhaps on a gaming site, they're saying. The stories are always murky, but she met him online, and she went away with him. Well, lo and behold, her body was found dumped in a national park in Ohio. Why do I say Hailey Buzbee could be saved? Because we are fighting at the Warriors and many other orgs and good people and ethical tech people for online safety. Now, does this mean everybody will be saved that has problems with the internet? You know and I know that's not the reality. But why do we have to fight so hard? When I just read a headline that big tech went on a massive spending spree of $600 billion for AI programs and properties and development. Now, if they're telling us $600 billion, you can bet your bottom dollar it's probably double or triple that. We never get the full stories. There's really no transparency with all of this online, digital, big tech platforms, right? Hailey Buzbee, 17-year-old, meeting a 39-year-old. So let's go back. Why I say she could have been saved. Because why should a teen be online with an adult? We have to figure out, there are many ethical tech people we work with at the Warriors who want to do good for kids. If big tech can spend, and I'll go to what was reported, the $600 billion on this massive, their words, not mine, spending spree, then at the same time, they should be forced. I am sorry. We have seen the horror. We have seen what goes on with kids, the mental health problems, the damaging algorithms, the families that have now suffered for lifelong traumas. Then big tech should be forced into, at the same time, go on your massive spending sprees. We are all about tech. We live in a digital world. We're not fighting tech, but we want ethical tech. We want tech to keep our kids safe. If they can spend $600 billion plus, then they can put some of this money into protecting kids at the same time. It's no skin off their backs because they are making so much money. They have so much money. What is it to them? These people have children, and if they don't have children, they know somebody with children, or they have siblings that have children. It is disgusting, and it is time to draw a line in the sand. Hailey Buzbee, 17, one of many teens. So if we had something even like COSA, the Kids Online Safety Act, holding big tech accountable for harms caused. Now, that just means that you can't feed the kids. Listen up, because if you read any of the PR, it's all propaganda coming from big tech itself. Again, they have so much money. They can pay to get to the top of the list or get their messaging out there, okay? You will read about the Kids Online Safety Act that it bars kids. It's dangerous because it bars kids from looking up information that they may need because they may be in a household, for instance, that if they're trans or if they're gay and they can't get the information anywhere else and they're afraid. That's an argument, okay? Always First Amendment, attack on speech, free speech. What about the kids? What about the minors? We had no problem with the seatbelts and the bicycle helmets and age limitations on liquor and things of that nature. But when it comes to the internet, it's a full-on war for our kids. And we at the Warriors have been fighting this for years now. It's time to wake up, everybody. Participate. It is not the country we used to live in. We live in a digital world. Everyone must and can participate. So if we had something like the Kids Online Safety Act, just saying, hold big tech accountable. And by the way, those are all lies coming out of big tech because we know from the whistleblowers that have come forward from the various companies, whether it's X, from Meta, from Snap, from TikTok, that they know they are feeding kids dangerous content through these algorithms. So they have designed and developed a dangerous product. That's called product liability. They should be held accountable. So if we had that in place, if we had the same thing, I had a meeting today, and I'll put up the interview as well. I had a lot of things happening today, back to back, and this is later in the day, but I did an interview with Genevieve Meyer. It'll be up later on, from Indiana, a wonderful advocate, a survivor herself of childhood marriage, 14, forced to marry a 43-year-old. Anyway, now she's thriving. She built a life of education, family. She's in a good spot. She works tirelessly in the state of Indiana, where 17-year-old Hailey Buzbee was from, to teach, to work, to travel, to raise awareness, to educate about all of these issues. And here's the number one thing. She's asking, everybody's asking around the country, the same thing. We don't have enough resources. We don't have the money. Lately the federal government, we don't want waste. We don't like waste. We're not about waste. But there was so much waste going on, right, in those daycare facilities and who knows what else. Probably a lot of other programs, right, I venture to say. I think you'd agree with me. Can you imagine some of those billions being used to put the education about online dangers, about what is grooming, about if you're a child, a teen, if somebody approaches you, what to do, and also for the parents, okay? Because they come to us and we do talks and focus groups and they don't know where to turn, or they're too embarrassed, so they do nothing, right? Or they yell at the child, and it's the same thing. We don't have the resources. So big tech has this 600 billion plus, but they should be forced, I'm sorry, to put some of this at the same time. Have your AI, okay? Our school systems across the United States for education. They should be forced to have some sort of limitations. Now, we do have the Sunset Section 230 piece of legislation just introduced. We'll be talking about that more. But since 1996, the internet's been allowed to just run amok, do what they want, and make billions. And these big tech trillionaires, billionaires, I don't even know what to call them, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Sam Altmans, all of these people, they're actually on record saying, we didn't allow our children on, any of the platforms, but it's good enough for your kids and my kids and our grandkids. So I'm not understanding something I don't like to say, where this is all going. There is a lot of hope, though, because we have a lot of parents stepping forward, forming groups such as Parents Rise, Parents Safe Online Spaces. We do have right now in the state of California, LA Superior Court, a groundbreaking trial. We're in week 2 right now. It's expected to last 6 to 8 weeks, holding Meta accountable for harms to kids, product liability, okay, brought forth by a 19-year-old who was a minor at the time, who the basis of her lawsuit is it caused depression, anxiety, again, the dangerous algorithms. Again, we have the whistleblowers. We have things on record. We have documentation. We have Mark Zuckerberg calling kids little pigs. And, they'll just do anything. We're going to stop this. But it really has to start in the home, in the schools as well, where kids spend a lot of time. It must be mandatory. So, big tech, I say, you have blood on your hands. What happened to Hailey Buzbee is something that never should have happened. Why is an adult, for instance, we have Roblox, one of the worst. I mean, they're all bad, but I should say, not one of the worst, I should say, because so many kids are on Roblox, right? That's one of the preferred gaming sites. There are millions of American kids on that. The predators go where the kids are. And what they do is they get to, you just basically sign on. There's no real age verification. They sign on, they go where the kids are, and they get the kids to, slip into the DMs, direct messaging. And that's where they get them. We hear the same stories over and over again, and it breaks my heart that this is allowed to go on. It should break your heart as well. But all these kids could have been saved. And the other thing, and just hear me out on this one. Let me finish up with this one. So we're going to keep an eye on big tech, AI, Sunset Section 230, Kids Online Safety Act. We have a new one I had a meeting on today. It's called the GUARD Act. And that is, all of this is bipartisan, by the way. No political parties belong to any of this, right? And all of our pieces of legislation are sponsored by Republicans and Democrats, as they should be. And the GUARD Act is brought forth by Senator Josh Hawley and Senator Richard Blumenthal, okay? Republican and Democrat. GUARD Act is about these AI chatbot companions. They're they're machines. Yet we have about 50% of kids, teens right now, reporting that they have a relationship with a chatbot. A chatbot's a machine, so it's your duty out there to tell your kids, these are not real. These are machines. They're tricking you by seeming empathetic. You're revealing yourself to them, and they turn around and use that against you. How criminal is this? Why is this allowed to go on? So I want to finish up with something. Our hearts are with Savannah Guthrie and her family and her mom, Nancy. This is horrific and horrible. I can't imagine what this family's going through. What is this, day 5? But here's what I want to say about this, and please hear me out. And we want her found, and we're praying for her. So much media attention on this abduction or kidnapping. I'm not sure. I think it's an abduction. We don't really have all the details. Media attention, law enforcement, resources, federal government, even our president getting involved. Why can't this be for every missing child? I'm sorry. Our precious kids, this kind of attention, these kinds of resources. These are children, our future American adults and leaders. And yet I've been to meetings where they have the nerve to say, at pretty high levels, those are throwaway kids. They didn't matter anyway. It kills me. This kind of attention needs to be put on every child that is missing. I know that sounds pie in the sky and that sounds impossible, but it's being done for Nancy Guthrie. And again, we want her found, and we're praying for the Guthrie family. But 2,300 American kids go missing every day. Now a lot of arguments on this one, but this is the truth. I believe my resources. That is trafficked kids, that's familial disputes, that is runaway kids. Runaway kids must be considered missing children. That is another problem we have in the United States. Such an easy fix. A lot of these things are easy fixes. We have solutions. They just need to be implemented or financed, okay? So, for instance, a runaway, in most places, you can't report a child missing. Some places is 24 hours, some places is 48 hours. A lot can happen. A child can be across the country in 24 hours. They don't take kids and just, stay in the same location. They move kids around. And kids who venture in, I see it. Here in New York City, when they come in by bus with a backpack on their back by the Port Authority, a couple of blocks away, and they just have the look. They could be 15, but they got the look of when they look at the buildings, and they don't know which direction. And these pervs and predators hang out in the shadows, because I see them, waiting for kids like that. And it starts out very friendly. Which direction do you want to go in? Let me help you. Oh, I'm going that way. Let's walk together. Boom. And they're sucked in. And kids' brains, aren't fully developed. They may be hungry. They may accept a meal. Everything might be okay for a few hours. And the kill. They go in for the kill. This is grooming in a matter of hours, right? Gaining the trust of a child. So what's going on here? We have more education than ever, and by a lot of grassroots organizations. We've got more parents stepping up. We've got 18 pieces of child safety legislation right now in the House, and more coming, such as the GUARD Act with these AI chatbots, companion chatbots. Can you imagine? Chatbots a companion, but this is what it is, AI chatbot companion bill. We must do better. I'm ashamed of my country right now, allowing this, our precious kids. When I started out and said there was a war on for our children and was hoping that is a line I would never have to repeat all these years later, the war has escalated. Children are the gold. There is indeed a war on for our children. I want to thank all of you for following along, for sharing these videos, for supporting us, for coming on when I do lives, for being there, volunteering. We do a lot of events we don't talk about because we consider them private. And we're not about clicks and likes at the Warriors. So thank you. LynnsWarriors.org is the place to be. Please subscribe to this channel. Help us out. Help us, it's not popular what we talk about. Help us get, onto that super highway of the internet, of YouTube. Let's leverage it for good. And remember, there are other Hailey Buzbees out there. And again, we pray for the Guthrie family and Nancy Guthrie. But a lot of this is avoidable. Yet, those in power just refuse to do anything. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, Warrior.